Hi boys. In continuation of the various types of lubrication, this class we can discuss about Elasto Hydrodynamic Lubrication. When the load acting on the bearing is very high, the material itself deforms elastically against the pressure buildup of the oil film. This type of lubrication is called as Elasto Hydrodynamic Lubrication. This occurs between canes and followers, gear teeth, and the rolling bearings where the contact pressures are extremely high. Elasto Hydrodynamic lubrication is shown in the figure. Let me repeat. When the load acting on the bearing is very high, the material itself deforms elastically against the pressure buildup of the oil film. This type of lubrication is called as Elasto Hydrodynamic lubrication, which occurs between the cams and followers, gear teeth, and rolling bearings where the contact pressures are extremely high. Elasto Hydrodynamic pressure is shown here. The next one is bearing. The next one is boundary lubrication. If the film thickness between the two surfaces in relative motion becomes so thin that formation of hydrodynamic oil film is not possible, and the surface high spots or asperities penetrates this thin film to make metal to metal contact, then such lubrication is called as boundary lubrication. The boundary lubrication happens when a shaft starts moving from rest, or the speed is very low, or the load is very high and the viscosity of the oil is too low. Boundary lubrication has been discussed in detail. A condition of boundary lubrication always exists when the engine is first started. The shaft is in contact with the bottom of the bearing with only a thin surface film of oil formed on them. The bearing surfaces are not perfectly smooth. They have uneven surfaces when near this thin film, which is consistently formed. While the crankshaft is turning slowly. When the crankshaft is turning slowly. The bearing surfaces are not perfectly smooth, they have uneven surfaces when the thin film which is constantly formed, while the crankshaft is running slowly. As the speed increases, if the switches on the hydrodynamic lubrication, boundary lubrication may also occur when the engine is under high load or when the oil supply to the bearing is insufficient. Boundary lubrication may also occur when the engine is under very high load or when the supply to the bearing is insufficient. This graph shows how the boundary lubrication is. There is another lubrication known as hydrostatic lubrication. In the hydrostatic lubrication, a thin oil film resists in the instantaneous squeezing out under the reversal of loads with relatively slow motion. The oil film acts as a cushion. If oil supply is sufficient, the oil film thickness is restored before next reversal of load. The hydrodynamic lubrication has been shown here. The hydrodynamic lubrication has been shown here. So, in the hydrodynamic lubrication, the thin film resist is instantaneous squeezing out under the reversal of loads with relatively slow motions. Thank you.